Hey, what's up everyone? In episode 21, we saw that Prince Siddhartha encountered Vasavati Mara, who tried to dissuade him from renouncing. But why is this deity discouraging Siddhartha instead of encouraging him?
Hey buddy, fantastic. Love discussions. Well, Vasavati Mara considers himself the god of desire, ruling over Kamaloka, the realm of desire. Siddhartha's quest for liberation directly challenges Mara's power. It's like Siddhartha is breaking free from the addiction of desire, and Mara, the mafia boss peddling desire, isn't happy about losing a customer. Siddhartha's pursuit threatens Mara's reign over Kamaloka, and that's why he's discouraging the prince from renouncing.
Mafia boss, in that case. Is Vasavati Mara similar to Satan or demons?
No, not quite. Unlike other religions, Vasavati Mara isn't a condemned spirit locked in hell. He's a misguided being with a skewed agenda, fueled by ignorance, residing in the highest heaven of Kamaloka. Importantly, he doesn't personify evil from Buddhism's perspective.
Could you please clarify what Kamaloka is?
Glad that you asked. Kamaloka is derived from the word kama, meaning desire, and loka, meaning the world. So Kamaloka means the world of desire, not to be confused with karma, which means action and is about cause and effect. Kamaloka can also be called Kamadhatu. Dhatu means realm, so Kamadhatu means the realm of desire. Within Kamaloka, there are various states of existence. The lowest is the hell realm, Naraka, with the most intense suffering. Above that is the hungry ghost realm, filled with entities constantly suffering from hunger or intense craving. Then there's the realm of animals. These three are the lower realms due to their intense suffering. The human realms are next, followed by the Asura world, or the realm of the fallen gods. Beyond that are the heavenly realms. These three are considered higher realms because suffering is lesser than the lower ones.
Oh wow, where does Vasavati Mara fit into all of this?
There are 6 heavens in Kamaloka, and Vasavati Mara resides in the highest one, known as Parinirmita, Vasavartin heaven. In total, there are 28 heavens, but the remaining 22 are higher heavens outside of Kamaloka. In Buddhism, the realms of existence in Kamaloka plus the 22 higher heavens are known as samsara. All beings in samsara experience endless death and rebirth. Interestingly, some Shramanas during Buddha's time went beyond Kamaloka and mistakenly thought they had escaped the cycle of endless rebirth and death, what we call nirvana. Siddhartha's 2 meditation teachers were among those who were mistaken.
Is Vasavati Mara the most powerful deva or god in the Parinirmita Vasavarti heaven?
The king of Parinirmita Vasavarti heaven is Vasavartin and not Vasavati Mara.
I'm wondering why Vasavartin, the king of that heavenly realm, doesn't step in to stop Mara from bothering Siddhartha and others?
Well, Mara thinks he's the guardian of desire in Kamaloka, responsible for keeping everyone entranced and stuck in Kamaloka. To him, that's a noble and holy duty. But here's the kicker. Heavenly beings, including Vasavartin, are too busy having their own celestial party. They couldn't care less about our earthly drama, much like how we ignore garden earthworms during our human parties. Moreover, Vasavati Mara only bothers those who are top ace practitioners like Siddhartha. Not everyone deserves his attention. So don't imagine that he's constantly coming down here to cause troubles.
Is Vasavati Mara the spiritual enemy of Buddhists?
Nah, not in the Buddhist world. We're all about ditching enemies and embracing compassion. Mara's more like a misguided character in need of Buddha's wisdom. Hey, did you know that some of us even wished him well and happiness, hoping that he can quickly attain enlightenment too?
Does Vasavati Mara possess people to commit evil deeds? Similar to what we see in horror movies.
As a deva, Vasavati Mara likely regards the human body with disdain, perceiving it as impure and repugnant. Thus, the notion of a deva possessing a human form seems implausible. Nevertheless, it's worth noting that other forms of spiritual entities might engage in such activities. These include terrestrial or earth-bound spirits like yakshas, kumbhandas, gandharvas, and so forth. When these spirits take hold of a person, steering them away from the path of Buddha's teachings or obstructing practitioners, they also fall under the classification of Mara. In this context, they are referred to as ghost Mara.
Are there any other types of Mara besides ghost Mara?
Awesome question. Yes, indeed. Buddhists also relate to Mara metaphorically. In one aspect, Mara is synonymous with death in Buddhism, as death stops us from continuing our spiritual journey. Therefore, death is like Mara. Next, there is Klesha Mara, representing the embodiment of all unskillful thoughts and emotions like greed, hate, lust, sloth, doubt, and so on. It's like battling against the negative mental states that can hinder us from becoming better people. Skanda Mara serves as a metaphor for the delusion of a self or personality. In this case, it refers to the 5 aggregates deluding us to believing in the existence of a self, forming the base for all sufferings that are created and experienced. The 5 skandhas include our physical body and the mental projection of our physical form, sensations from our various senses, perceptions that form in our minds, mental inclinations and habits, and consciousness.
All right, time for a whimsical question. Does Vasavati Mara actually exist?
That $1,000,000 question. Well, just because we can't high-five Mara or take a selfie with him doesn't mean he's not around. It's a bit like X-rays or those elusive high-pitched frequencies. Can't see them, can't hear them, but they're doing the thing. But here's the twist. While we wish to keep our minds open, we will also avoid jumping into the deep end of imagination and start seeing Maras everywhere. If we blame every hiccup on an imaginary Mara, we might go crazy and end up in a padded room, right? It's like finding that balance between acknowledging the unseen and not spiraling into a crazy fantasy.
So, what's the healthy Buddhist take on Mara then?
Many modern Buddhists prefer to take the metaphorical route. Mara becomes this symbolic representation of our not-so-great emotions: laziness, lust, greed, doubt, and so on. It's like saying, "Hey, inner Mara, we see you lurking around." So, in a way, it's more about battling our inner demons than chasing imaginary cosmic villains.
Have you ever come across the phrase, "Your thoughts can turn you into a Buddha or a Mara"? Is this a Buddhist expression? And what's the story behind it?
This saying originates from a Zen Buddhist tale in Japan. In the story, a samurai challenged a Zen master, demanding proof of heaven and hell. In response, the Zen master called the samurai a fool. Insulted, the samurai drew his sword. The Zen master coolly responded, "The door to hell is open. Can you see?" Perplexed, the samurai lowered his sword. The Zen master added, "Now the door to heaven is opened." Over time, however, people have misunderstood this story. They've equated heaven with good and hell with evil. In a twist, they replaced good with Buddha and evil with Mara, assuming Buddha personifies all that is good and Mara embodies all that is evil. But it's crucial to note that this interpretation is flawed. Becoming a Buddha or attaining enlightenment isn't about thoughts and thinking. Wow, those are thought-provoking yet fun questions. We hope you've enjoyed today's episode on Mara, the cosmic puppeteer of desires. Remember, Facing Mara is like a cosmic game of hide and seek, and perhaps the real victory lies in understanding the tricks of our own minds.